Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen N Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Oceaniz.
Hello, hello.
And this is completely off topic. Well, actually, I guess it's not off topic, but we don't usually talk about it. I did not know Elusive Samurai had the cover this week.
Oh, yeah, it was a bit of a surprise, but I suppose it happens, right? Especially considering how popular it is right now in its home country.
Some random country that not that
That no
important.
one, yeah, no one knows about anyway.
Not that
Um,
important.
I mean, if we're speaking of if if we're speaking of random anime and manga news, I don't know if you saw it, but Shonen Jump is releasing a manga maker app where you can make your own manga using some pre-made backgrounds and characters
That's pretty
to
sick.
like storyboard your own. Yeah, and they're holding a contest, and the winner is gonna have their story drawn by Uzazaki from Act Age fame.
Oh ho, double awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Act Age fame is a scary word right now, but
Well, I know, but I mean, she is a good artist,
yeah,
and
her art is beautiful.
uh, if you submit, I don't know if it's launched already in the West. It has in Japan. And it's like, from what I've seen, you can like have like a little character creator, except with like manga art styles for your characters, and then you get to like design your story. Like it's very basic, but it's apparently going to be very useful also for starting manga for like storyboarding and like writing and paneling and things like that. So
That is extremely
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I was thinking about it all week because I want to bring it up, and now I've fucking forgotten the name. I hate everything.
It's all
Uh,
right. These things happen.
yeah, wait. I'll look up the name and I'll bring it in later. But I think that's all the news I have, unless you are privy to anything I missed.
No, I don't think so. I haven't really looked at like sales numbers or anything, so we'll just jump in.
Yeah.
What have you got on your top three this week?
My top three. Number three is Red Hood for the second time in a week,
Okay.
in a row. Number two is Jujutsu Kaisen, and number one is My Hero Academia. Nothing much changed.
I think it's
Go
actually exactly
figure.
the same as last week's.
Yeah.
Um,
What's yours?
my number three is Undead Unluck.
Hmm.
My number two is My Hero, and my number one is Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's pretty much like we only make a big deal out of the number three because number one and two are basically a given anyway.
Pretty much. Generally,
Like,
that's how it is.
like the real trophy isn't number one anymore; it's number three.
Yeah, it's getting
Because
in
the
on
other
that
one.
variant slot because number one and two are spoken for most of the
Yeah,
time. Every now and again, Dr. Stone will slip in there for me, but you know,
yeah, but that is the exception rather than the rule.
exactly. All right, well then I gotta scroll all way back in our list because we have some of our regulars who are out this week. So the first one is actually gonna be Choujin X.
Hmm.
Good
Which,
stuff.
yeah, like I'm having as fun reading this as I hope Ishida has writing this. Like it's just good shit. Beastification, fucking raw as hell.
Super raw. Then the dude who shows up and just like slices her to bits and then stomps her when she's a tiny little snake.
Yeah,
So good.
like just and in general, like I really like this vibe we have here. Like I think we said it last time, maybe about the differences, but the vibes are indeed immaculate.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just this mix between goofy and creepy that is just perfect for this sort of series. Like
And I
I
also
also
think
like that.
it's neat that his beastification turned him back into a person when he turned back.
Mhm.
Ah man.
Yeah,
There's so much just cool little caveats to their powers. 7 chapters in,
yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, this shit is fucking immaculate.
yeah. It's so dope. Like also, I like the fact that he doesn't have super strength because it makes sense, right? He's the fucking bird. Birds have hollow bones. So of course he wouldn't be like super strong and fucking breaks his arm after punching once. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what they do with him now, since we're now at like a training facility for Shoujins.
And yeah, he's like hanging out with the little girl. I wonder when his friend is gonna come back in.
Yeah, like he seems kind of absent from the story. Also, what's his name? Hoji? Yeah, the All Might lookalike. He is the model man. He's huge, he is kind, and he loves apples.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hoshi. That is that is peak male performance. You might not like it, but you must accept it.
This is pinnacle of the pinnacle of what man is meant to be. Is this
This is
square-faced gentleman?
this is the end point of all masculinity. Accept it now and make your pilgrimage towards this ideal. I love him so much. Because, like, he's just this really friendly dude who looks super stupid, which is my favorite type of dumb male characters.
Yeah, he's like every time he talks, he just has the same like flat, blocky face on, no matter what he's saying. It's so
Mhm.
fucking funny.
Uh, yeah, I'm really liking this. And I think we mention it every time Shoujin X releases, but man, I am so happy the release schedule is not as irregular as I expected it to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because you know that he can put it out when he's up to it, but he's still doing it, right? It's not like, oh, Choujin X dropped one chapter in the last 2 years. It's
Hmm.
just like, yeah, I'm not gonna hamper myself with a deadline, but it's still coming out. It's still like dropping consistently,
Hmm.
which I love.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just you can tell from every pore of this that Ishida has so much fun with this. Like also the fact that they mistake his name. They think he's called Zaven because he's trying to say something else but then faints. That's pretty cool
It's
too.
funny.
Yeah. Or like how he wakes up completely terrified, just screaming
They
"School!"
miss school. Yeah.
Uh,
I also like that we're starting to see some funky like other powers,
hmm.
not just like because like we've seen the fire, but that's just like shoots smoke that's hot, right? But
Hmm.
whatever this dude's power is holy shit.
Yeah, he like first blade, lone sword, pierced viscera. This guy spitting, that's for sure. Heaven set. Yeah, like I cannot make heads or tails from these names, but they sound raw, and that's all I care about.
Yes. Absolute canography.
Yeah, lone sword duplicate. Yeah, yes, sir.
And then he turns it off just by saying lone sword return. This is man. This is
Yeah,
fucking peak. This is peak.
this guy is gonna be this guy's gonna be cool if he keeps showing up. So yeah, like I'm just really interested to see where this story goes now. Now that they've sort of um you know now that we've sort of closed on the I want to say prologue where now everyone is where they're supposed to be, or at least I assume that's what this is, right? Like this Shoujin Academy or whatever is where the story was always headed.
Yeah,
So
it
now
looks
I'm
like it would
interested to
make the most
see,
sense.
yeah. So now I'm interested to see what the actual like plot is gonna be, because now he can return back to a human being, but why won't he? Like, why will he not go back to his normal life? Why will he obviously choose to stay and fight for the Shoujin cause, whatever that may be? So
Right.
yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be definitely very interesting. Um, and yeah, like I'm kind of another thing I'm kind of feeling for is like a proper fight, because so far most of the fights have just been showcasing the abilities.
Right.
So I'm kind of hoping for like another meathead event sometime soon.
Yeah, I could go. I can always
Uh,
go for more meathead events.
yeah. Also, Jesus. Last week you mentioned, or last time this release, you mentioned that the snake is just a snake with human teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at the panel where she gets stabbed for the first time, and yeah, yikes, that looks. She has two tongues too, or is it just a ginormous forked tongue? I'm not sure.
It might just be a ginormous forked tongue, but it's
Oh
hard
yeah, I
to
think
tell
it
from
is.
that angle.
I think it is in the previous page. You can kind of see it. That's not how forked tongues work, but never mind. That's I'm not
It's
gonna
just
nerd
it's
out
just
this
the human
early.
teeth, man. I can't do it. Anything that's not a human that has human teeth, I can't do it.
Ah, dude, like putting putting dentures into like stuffies and other things.
Ugh, ugh.
Peak horror.
Absolute, like that's why Phantom Seer got canceled. They didn't have enough stuff with human teeth.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's not even just like beings that have teeth, that have human teeth, where they should have the regular teeth. Just like teeth being anywhere outside a human's mouth
Mm-hmm.
is like creepy.
Anytime teeth are somewhere other than inside the mouth of a humanoid creature, I'm like, I can't ever look at that.
Yeah,
Fucking disgusting.
have you ever seen that image of where the adult teeth are in a baby's skull?
Yes, and I hate it.
Yeah, that's
I hate it
exactly.
so much. Teeth are gross, bro. They're just nasty. I don't know what it is. They're just fucking gross.
They're also annoying because, like, every health insurance or most health insurances cover all of your other bones. But when it comes to teeth, those are your luxury bones that you need to pay extra for.
Yeah,
to
that you have
them.
to go at. There was a really funny tweet the other day where it was some medical student like, I'm just absolutely blown away at how much I need to know about every part of the body that stops at teeth. Med school just decides teeth don't. You don't have to cover
Yeah,
that.
yeah, they just don't count. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say on Shoujin X except I'm really excited to see more of it. Like Ishida, work as hard as you want to, and I'll be there every chapter.
Yes, sir. Every
Yes,
single
sir, out of
time.
10.
Yes, sir. Out of 10.
Oh yeah, we didn't do it at the start, but a reminder that the fan art contest is still going.
Yes, still going on for another like 6 weeks or something crazy like that.
Yeah, we're gonna be saying this another 6 more times, so buckle up, fellas.
So buckle up for this reminder. Yeah, don't forget you
Yeah.
can post your entries in the Shonen N Chill Discord. Link in the description probably, unless I forget it. I won't. It'll be in there, I'm sure. Morgan will yell at me if it's not in there. Or on Twitter with the hashtag SNCArt. But just be aware that we recommend putting it in both, so you have a very minuscule chance of being missed. Because if we miss you because we can't find it, I take no responsibility for that.
Yeah, we do not take any responsibility for our own stupidity.
Yep.
That's what we get to do as content creators.
As the people running the contest, we get to make it your fault if we mess up. This
Yes,
is basically
exactly.
what we're saying.
Love you guys.
All right.
What's next?
Next up is gonna be My Hero Academia Vigilantes. Yay.
Oh boy, fellas, buckle up once again. Okay. Before we jump into the usual, I will say the explanation that he is subconsciously really good at dodging and blocking because he's been such a fucking loser his entire life and never gets the first punch in. I actually kind of like that. I feel like that's a cool and roundabout way to powering him up. Not necessarily to the degree that he has it now, where it's basically the limitless, but it's a cool idea. Like I'll give it credit for that.
Like the problem is he keeps getting these power-ups. He's like, okay, oh, he's got the limitless. Oh, now he's snapped into like high-speed martial arts mode. Like his eyes go blank and he's just like, the variant fighter. Like every chapter, he just gets another power bump that makes him relevant enough to fight this monster thing for a second. But they're still fighting.
I don't even know if what he got this chapter was a separate power, if it was the same one as before, just properly explained now. Like,
well,
I thought
it's
it
the
was
same
just...
one as before, but now he's like applying it with martial arts as opposed to it being just an unconscious like, he shielded himself. Now he's like parrying blows and shit, like keeping up with this thing. And God, why are they fighting? Why are they still fighting?
Yeah.
How long has the past 6 months supposed to be in real time? Has it been like 3 minutes?
Not even probably, considering how fast they're fighting. But I will say, I also like Six's demon form. Like I like the explanation where it's like, oh yeah, the dorsal pipes, they're supposed to help with respiration. It's like okay, I can deal with that. That's cool. But yeah, I kind of wish it's the same thing over and over, right? It's always like I wish we would get further than just a single strategy per chapter.
Yeah, and then the worst part is the cliffhanger for this chapter is the strategy they're going to use in the next chapter. So now it's already like, oh, okay, so this is going to fucking suck. Like, great.
Yeah, it's let's not dwell on Vigi for too long because I feel like we always just repeat ourselves there. Yeah, I'm ready for this to be over. Like this is by far the longest My Hero spin-off so far, and undeservedly so in my opinion. But
Agreed.
what are you gonna do? Yeah. Read the novels. There's a new one coming apparently. That'll be about Valentine's Day at school.
That sounds way better than this.
That sounds so much cooler. Also, one of the My Hero novels actually, I don't know if it hinted at it or straight up just like soft spoiled it. It hinted at UA having all those underground tunnels. Because the fifth novel includes the children finding like an underground tunnel and being confused as to what it is. And
That
then
would
it gets
be
like
so funny if they just like spoiled it. Like,
Well,
ooh, they're
at the
gonna do this one
time,
day. Put it in.
yeah, no, it's just like because I believe I haven't read it because it's the one that isn't translated yet. But to my understanding, it's they find that tunnel and then they run out because they think it's Midnight's secret sex dungeon.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, if that was the way to introduce the idea, go ahead.
Hey, you know what? You do what you got to do. That's what I'll say on that.
Oh, dude, Midnight in the novels is the worst.
Oh God, really?
She is so much worse than this. She straight up admits to have abused her first boyfriend to the point of him turning gay.
Oh,
Yeah. So, maybe it's for the better that what happened happened. Like I'm not saying she deserved that, but I'm also saying there must be at least a few gentlemen in the My Hero world who heard those news and breathed a heavy sigh of relief.
the first time they felt safe in years.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. No, but seriously, everyone go read the novels. There's a chapter of all the teachers just getting blasted and drunk and getting to find out what that's like. So yeah, read that
That
instead of
sounds so much
Vigilantes
better.
out of 10. Yeah. Get hammered out of 10. That's my Vigilante score.
All right. Yeah. I don't even have a vigilante score. Fuck that thing.
Yeah, it's just
All right, next
it is what it is.
is Neru, Way of the Martial Artist.
Oh boy, what an uptick in
Oh,
quality.
God, dude. I if we weren't doing this for this show, I would have dropped it already.
Yeah, no, for sure. I thought about it last week. I kept thinking about it this week, and honestly, if next week we turn up and I say I haven't read it, be warned, but it might happen because at this point, wow, this is not
No,
really going anywhere.
no. And boy, did it really feel the 80s vibe this week.
Oh, especially at the end with the girl.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
that was.
God.
I did find it kind of funny that like the big shonen advice he gets is girls are scary. Which I mean,
And he's like, "Oh my
yeah.
God, they are."
But like, oh, did you glare at me? Like, no, I didn't. Let's fight. Oh my God, I saw your titties. It's like, dude.
Oh, I was fighting you, but then I saw your boobies and I had to look away, and it's oh my God, fucking A,
Like,
dude.
yeah,
It did have one joke that I liked though. There was one
What's
panel of the
that?
whole chapter that I liked, and it was when the assistant teacher was panicking and she just fucking chucks all of the handout papers at them and just screams
Yeah.
handouts. That was funny.
Yeah, the thing about that panel is it's not actually drawn. It's a photograph from when I teach creative writing at university. That's how I do that. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Like, it's so frustrating because I want to like the series because the art style and sort of the idea of spiritual martial arts shonen is just totally up my alley. But man, it's just so drenched in the worst parts of 80s manga.
Yeah, that's the thing is like there's a lot of people call it like nostalgic and stuff for stuff they read when they were younger, which is cool with me. Like that's fine, but a lot of the stuff in it is just like, this is why I don't like that much manga from the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the cycle of it kind of hasn't. I know, as I said, it's like the worst parts of that era condensed into a manga. And maybe if this had come out in the 80s, we wouldn't have cared so much. Well, we probably wouldn't have been doing a podcast.
Well,
But
that too.
you know, I feel like now, what the 40s, the 80s are 40 years ago at this point. Like, there is just no way this is still hitting. You know,
God,
I'm
like
a
the whole portion where she's like, "Don't patronize me and call me cute," and he's like, "Nah, nah, you're cute." I'm like, "What the fuck is this? Who is this for?
yeah, yeah,
Who's
exactly.
enjoying this interaction between the two of them?" It's not like
Mhm.
offensive, but it's just like, what the fuck? Who is reading this? And they're like, "Oh yeah, King, get it."
Yeah, like show that
It's
woman into her place. I
yeah,
mean,
show her not to dare refuse a man's compliments on her physical appearance.
oh God. I know you said at the start this wasn't offensive, but actually,
It's coming off a little bit the more I'm reading it.
yeah. Well, it's like it's that frustrating middle ground that like the 2000s and 90s mangas also swam in, right? That sort of it's not blatantly offensive, it's just vaguely shitty.
Yeah,
And
it's like where it's patronizing, but they play it off like the girl kind of likes it, so it's
yeah.
okay, which is weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like, if I see it in a 90s or 80s series, I'm like, that's
Different
what it was
times.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this shit is we're in 2021, dude. Like I don't know, like it just does not feel like a series from today's age. And that is very disappointing because as I said, I dig the art style, I dig the idea of like, discovering yourself through martial arts, but yeah, this shit ain't hitting at all. And if next chapter is like this, I might just stop halfway and just arrive here with my head down in shame, and you can all throw rocks at me.
Yeah. Are we about to have the first series that we have axed from Shonen and
Yeah,
Chill? Are we about to have
might
our
be.
first cancellation?
My God, we have to text that to like Shonen Jump. Like we regret to inform you that we have dropped
We have
your
dropped Neru, Way
your
of the Martial
series.
Artists, from our podcasts.
Yeah, we have unfortunately decided not to pursue your application any further.
Oh
Uh,
god, dude. It's not. I don't have much more to say about it other than like this shit doesn't hit at all.
yeah, not hitting out of 10.
Not hitting out of 10. So next up on the list is Candy Flurry.
Yeah, boy, we are rushing towards the end, aren't we?
Oh my god, dude. At the end of this chapter, I was like, yeah, this is going to be done by 25. They
Yeah.
I think they already I think the author already got the "we're pulling the plug" notice and they just haven't announced it yet. Because holy
hmm
shit. The bad guy showed up, the entire army just got decimated, and now she's staring down the villain.
hmm
And that's where
Yeah.
we are. Everyone is out. All of the bad guys, other than the main villain, all of the good guys, other than the main girl, are all incapacitated.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
yeah, I definitely think that the author got the so sorry, we're pulling the plug notice, and they gave him
yeah.
like 6 weeks or something to wrap it, and they just haven't announced
Yeah.
it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get that answer. Because, yeah, so he shows up and we immediately get like the double spread of him attacking with using the lollipops. And it's like, this is the kind of stuff you do in the final arc. Like at the end of a long journey, you finally show the goods, right? You show us the destruction that we've heard about so much. But this is chapter 17.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like it feels too early and kind of rushed, and I kind of wish it wasn't, but what can we really say
Yeah, I
about
mean,
it?
uh, it sucks because I liked it, but this definitely has the hallmark of like, yeah, we're about done.
Yeah. And well, to not paint the devil too hard and actually talk about the chapter. Like, for what it's worth, I think it was pretty cool to see that the villains are actually kind of like they're friends in a way. They're not like, oh yeah, you failed me, go away. He's like, you did your best, you did whatever you could in the situation. I'm here to help you now. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I do like that. Because they talk about it before with like they have faith in him and everything, and it's nice to see that it's not like weird cult brainwashy. He's legitimately like, yeah, don't worry, buddy, we got it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He even like he didn't even say like I'll step in to take care of it for you. He was like, you kind of did your job. Like actually, like I think you did good.
Mhm.
You did good enough, man. All right, don't even worry about it. He like cheered him up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of cool, and I like that our main girl immediately jumps in. Like for everything this series might be losing if it gets canceled, I think I'd miss her a lot just because she is. I don't know, she's refreshing from Shonen Jump,
She is
right?
I really like her like character just in general. I don't know what it is about Shonen Jump releasing series with really good female leads, and then they're like, well, this has to go.
Yeah,
Well, okay, Act Age was not their fault. That was a different thing, but
that was a
um,
very different thing. Yeah,
yes, that was not their fault. But I really like her. I think she's cool, and I like her power and the way that she fights. And I just kind of feel like the series didn't have a very good direction for her to go in. I don't know if that's maybe part of the problem that I have when it comes to like where stuff is happening, because it feels like she's really cool, obviously, but she spends a lot of time just sort of like, oh, shit's happening in the world around me. I'm gonna have to hit it with my lollipop. And
hmm
so I don't know, man. There's just something about it, especially since this school arc started, where it feels like it's not using her as well as it did before. Whereas
yeah,
before it felt a lot like it was her story and she was like going through it and there was a lot of her character on display. Ever since this school arc started, it just kind of feels like the world has been happening and she's just like commenting on it.
yeah. That's actually a very good actually a very good way to put it. Yeah, she's kind of turned from an active personality in the story to just, oh shit, everything's happening at once to me specifically. Let's deal with it. So, that's
And like that's okay. I'm not against that kind of story. Like I think you could make a decently convincing argument that Ichigo is like that in
hmm
Bleach to an extent, not quite as bad as it is here, but to an extent. But I think the problem is when she wasn't like that, her character's really
hmm
good. I really like her
hmm
character and like the way that she interacts with people and the way that she approaches problems and stuff. So now that she's kind of been reduced to like, ah, the plot's happening and I need to stop the plot from happening is kind of depressing.
Yeah, it definitely is somewhat disappointing. But yeah, I mean, what do we want? What can we do, really, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's if it is, I mean, we could be wrong, right? Like, this could be like a huge fake out, and the lollipop user gets away, and this was just like set up. I'd be surprised, but
It
could be.
certainly doesn't feel framed that way, but also I've been having problems trying to predict where Candy Flurry's going to go for the past few weeks. So uh, maybe. I mean, they could like clash a little bit, and then he's like, "All right, I'm out of here." But boy,
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
feel that way. Looking at this last page.
Yeah, it's a damn shame if this is what's happening. And I mean, at this point, we have I don't know how many series have we seen come and go
Since Phantom
on this podcast.
Seer, um,
Well, was Phantom Seer the first one?
the first one since I started keeping track.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think we've actually had another really big one end on our watch.
No, not really. There
Well,
was
but we did see the ending of Chainsaw Man, but that wasn't the
that was a
cancellation.
natural conclusion, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it ever come out if King was canceled or just ended?
I don't actually know. I don't care
It
enough
only
about
has
Moriking.
yeah, same, but it only has 35 chapters. That's why I was curious.
hmm
Okay, so since this year, so we'll say 2021.
hmm
Um, we lost Mora King if it counts, Our Blood Oath, Phantom Seer, Build King, A Gravity Boys, Hardboiled Cop and Dolphin, I Tell C, and Nine Dragons Ball Parade.
Okay. No, wasn't there also? Did we ever talk about Guardian of the Witch, or was that before we
Guardian
started
of
the
the Witch
podcast?
was canceled in 2020.
Okay.
If we go back to 2020, we also add Time Paradox Ghost Rider,
Oh,
Mitama
of course,
Security
yeah.
Spirit Busters, Bone Collection, Guardian of the Witch, Zip Man, Samurai 8.
Haha.
Yeah. Yeah, so also those.
Yeah, but so if Candy Flurry does get the axe, that's only the second time something we both care about gets the axe, like as we're doing this podcast, right?
Correct. Phantom Seer is the only other cancel. Even for all the cancellations this year, Phantom Seer is the only 2021 one that we both actually give a shit about.
Yeah. Well, damn, Candy Flurry, don't join Phantom Seer out of 10.
Yeah, for the love of God. Resist
Yeah.
out of 10.
For the love of God, out of 10.
Yeah, just for the love of God out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. So after Candy Flurry, next up on the list is gonna be Witch Watch.
Witch Watch. Cool.
Yeah, I liked
I'm
it.
liking this.
Yeah, we're definitely recruiting the werewolf boy. He's definitely staying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
I'm
that.
getting big friendship is magic anime bullshit out of their interaction at the end there. Which
Yeah,
is
dude.
fine because I like him. So
The fucking page turn where it's like, yes, you're my match 101, but, and it's just a panel. I have friends, so this battle is over. It's
Yep.
the funniest fucking thing. It's so like shonen.
Yeah, that was the speech bubble literally just being I have friends was like, mm-hmm. Yep. That's
Not
it.
just that, the fact that it's followed by this is over.
Yep.
You
Just,
fool.
You absolute fool. You challenged me whilst I had friends.
You buffoon dared issue a challenge while I was surrounded by my compatriots.
Also,
Perish.
I like how he says that, but only the girl actually did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And all it did was make him slip. And then, right after he said that, she was like, yeah, I don't have any power left. And so they're right back to where they were before.
Yeah.
All she did was make him fall down. And the look on his face when she says, I used up all my magic.
He's like,
So it went from, I have friends, this is over, and then the very next page is, it's just you and me now.
Also, yeah, that top image on the final page of Mori just going,
Yep.
That's the reaction image if I've ever seen
It's
one.
so good.
But yeah, like I'm liking where the story's going. Like the fact that they set up like an evil enchanter group or like warlock group, that's actually pretty cool. I'm glad that this enchanter isn't like that big of a deal, all things considered, because it gives me confidence.
She's actually kind of small
the
potatoes,
future.
which is cool.
Yeah, right. It gives you like confidence for the future a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. This isn't just gonna end as like it's over and now they're gonna go back to poop stories and manga jokes.
Yeah, because also Witch Watch is at chapter 27, so like pretty much knockwood safe.
We'll see.
Yeah,
well, given Witch Watch, I'm pretty sure is like super popular.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about that. Plus, it's the Sket Dance author who was Sket Dance is also super popular. So I'm assuming Witch Watch is not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, good, right?
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
That's how we want it.
Yeah. I don't even like it when stuff I don't like gets canceled, unless it's Samurai 8.
It's always well. The thing is, it's always sad because you think about these young authors, struggling upwards and getting their chances rejected. Kishimoto is like 60; he can handle it.
Yeah, Kishimoto is like, shut up, man. Go storyboard your stupid Boruto spinoff.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Witch Watch was good.
It was good. It was a little cheesy, but I almost feel like I can't tell if the ending was like cheesy and then an intentional misdirect to be funny, or if it was
Hmm.
cheesy and then double cheesy back to back. I can't tell.
I feel
But
like
it's okay either way.
that's sort of the sweet spot. Also, uh, the double spread where we cut to the fight between Wolf and Mori, so good. Like the speed lines that actually look like proper like motion blur instead of just lines. Love
Yes,
that.
because like God, speed lines really piss me off when they don't properly convey speed. Because
Yeah.
when it's just lines, I'm like, okay, you didn't want to draw any trees.
Yeah.
That's you just didn't want to fucking draw any trees. Um, but the motion blur in the woods, followed up by like once you set up that feeling of speed, everything's fine after that. Ugh,
Yeah.
so good. And the panels right after that, like Moy dodging that punch into the other panel, looks
Hmm.
so good.
Yeah, because he dodges into the other panel and his fist is already raised,
Yep,
and like literally next to it is his actual fist from the next panel
doing the
with another
punch that he's
speed
about
line.
to throw. Yep,
And then that fist leads your eye down into the right bottom corner of the next panel, from which you swing upwards alongside Moy's fist. Like it's so good.
just
It's like
good shit,
actually,
man.
yeah. Actually, the more I look at it, the more impressed I am. Like, wow, this is some good ass paneling.
Yeah, it's like action flow is hard to do, man. And when you do it right like that, it shows.
Yeah.
That whole sequence is great.
Um. Also, I just noticed, um, Moy is wearing a T-shirt with the logo of Tengu Guy and Nico's YouTube channel on it.
Is he really?
Yeah, because it says Kan Nico channel.
Oh my god,
Kanchi and
he is.
Nico.
It's just their YouTube channel.
He's wearing their merch.
He's wearing their YouTube merch. I love this fucking series.
I love this dude. Like, oh my god, what
What
a
a
king.
supportive Chad.
Yeah, he's like, my two friends have this dumb YouTube channel that they don't even care about, but God be damned if I'm not buying their merch
I'm
day
buying
one.
that merch ASAP.
Oh, what a Chad.
Absolute bro.
Love him so much. For someone who's like completely unemotive most of the time, he's so good. I also like the little speech he has, where he's like, I'm socially awkward, but I actually was really happy that we were able to be friends. And I wonder how you felt about it. Like, it's cheesy again, but I like it. It feels
It's
sincere, cheesy but sincere.
there's a level of wholesome to some cheese, right? Like cheesiness isn't inherently bad. It can come off a little cornball sometimes, and this is going to come up big time in the My Hero Academia portion. Let me just warm you up for that
Oh
now.
yeah, bet,
Um,
bet.
Let me just warm everybody up for that now. You can be a little cornball and enjoy it, right?
Hmm.
Like it, it's like a familiar, comforting feeling sometimes if it's not too
Yeah,
painful. And I don't think it was too
yeah.
bad in this.
Exactly. And I mean, to a certain extent, like I know we're all cynical postmodernist people who have grown out of the cheese of the old days, but there is a certain sincerity in cheesiness. Like I think the problem with cheesiness is when it feels insincere. When it feels like, "Oh yeah, let's get this out of the way. Let's get the audience invested, I guess." That's when I think people start having problems with cheese. But and I'm gonna say this again in my hero chapter just to warm you up. Um, I think when you can feel that it is cheesy not as a result of carelessness or callousness, but as a result of a sincere feeling that was put into this story, I feel it's a lot more acceptable. Like you have a much easier time to look past it, right? Like that's why I like this speech in Witch Watch because it's like, yeah, it's cheesy, but it also completely fits with this character, and it makes me feel, I don't know, just a little connected to him, right? Like I'm socially awkward. I'm really happy that we were friends. Is sure it's kind of cheesy, but yeah, I can feel that. I can take that. I can live with that. That's cool.
Yeah, I
So
enjoyed
yeah,
it.
yeah, I enjoyed it out of 10.
I enjoyed it
That's
exactly. Witch Watch, I liked it out of 10.
yeah.
Perfect rating.
Perfect rating.
All right, let's see
What's
next
next?
up on the list here is going to be Dr. Stone.
I'm gonna be real with you, my man. When they started talking about numbers,
Well, I know that's your specific trigger. So this whole chapter, you were probably having PTSD flashbacks.
well,
Um,
I'm just gonna say, like, for the entire second half of this chapter, I was like drooling and catatonic
yeah,
because
even
I
for
couldn't.
me, this was like there was a lot of text in this one and a lot of small panels. I guess to
Mhm.
justify like we have to, explain because now that they've committed to where they're making a computer, damn sure the author's like, I better fucking justify this, or people are gonna be
Yeah,
on my ass. So I better go
yeah.
through how I'm doing this. But also, it's like, Jesus, man. I see.
Mhm.
It's almost. It's not a bad thing, but sometimes it comes off as a bad thing that Dr. Stone tries to be as genuinely scientific as possible because now that they've gotten to the point that they're doing what's borderline magic, it's like, fuck, you really have to take an entire chapter just to justify to me how this computer is going to work.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like that, and also ever since Dr. Stone resolved to not actually do tutorials anymore because they're worried kids were gonna do it at home, uh, it feels sort of awkward that it's showing you how to do it, but also not.
Yeah, in like very vague terms. So it
Mhm.
comes off a lot more like an excuse than it did before. Whereas before it was like, this is how you can do it. Um, with this, it was a lot of like, trust me, this shit makes
Please,
sense. I promise.
please just believe me. This is how it works.
Please. And like I liked the
But
ending where they were like, we're gonna have a math contest and to prove to everyone that the big dumb idiot with a calculator is smarter than a super smart guy when it comes to doing calculations, as long as you have the proper tools. And everyone was like, yay! Like that was a very Dr. Stone moment. I liked that a lot.
Mhm.
But like, God, ugh. It was a lot of chunkiness to get here.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more unfortunate chapters for Dr. Stone, I want to say, but it always has that sort of Dr. Stone swagger to it, right?
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
a certain level of just like absolute peak that Dr. Stone always hits that you just can't get out of it.
Yeah, like unironically, I cannot get enough of those fucking panels where something happens, everyone's like, "What? No!"
Uh-huh.
Like their mouths agape. Half the page is just their jaw.
Also, every
Like,
time they invent something new and they just like look up to the light, I'm like, yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
Boichi. Show
just
me what you can do with that whiteout pen.
just
What
fucking
that pen
kill it,
do?
King.
Kill
Every
it.
time.
But yeah, no, I definitely get that. Um, but yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of ready for them to move on from the computer business and move towards, the moon. But I feel like I'm not gonna get my wish anytime soon. I feel like we're in computer territory for at least another couple of weeks.
I think probably yeah, because we're still justifying how they made a calculator. So there's definitely more to go. Definitely more to
Well,
go.
I mean, I suppose once you have a calculator, the computer is actually not that hard of a next step. You just glue a bunch of calculators together
Yeah,
that
but they
calculate
need
different
they need
things.
what do they say, 30 million?
Yeah, that number doesn't mean anything to me,
That's
so
fair.
I'm fine.
That's fair. That's just
Like
sounds.
it's more than 10. Well, here's the thing though. It's uh, like unironically, when a manga tells you something is gonna be 30 million somethings, that shit doesn't matter, right? Like we're not gonna actually watch them do 30 million of these. So, might as well just say more than 10.
That's fair. You're right. They're not gonna. But I don't know, like sometimes I wish Dr. Stone would just ditch on the commitment a little bit and just like go to town.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, so yeah, my verdict on Dr. Stone is get to the fucking moon out of 10.
Just Get into space already out of 10.
Shinji, get into space.
My verdict is just stop talking about this computer now out of 10, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
not
off the
rushing to
damn
space,
computer.
but just all right, enough on the computer.
These fucking Zoomers and their PCs. Back in my day, we ate dirt for fun and we loved it.
We ran on railroad tracks and played chicken with locomotives.
And it was perfectly safe for all of us that survived.
Yeah, if we did get hit and die.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Next up on the list is Mashle.
Which was good.
Super good, and it finally had its own Davi chapter. I was waiting for a Davi in this Harry Potter world.
A Dobby?
Yeah, the little elf that's Harry Potter's friend.
Oh, Dobby. My hero brain rot, dude. I thought you were saying Dobby.
Were you thinking Davi like the villain from? Nah,
Yes.
you got.
Well, first
This
I was
name
thinking
sure
you
is
meant-
giving me My Hero Academia vibes.
First, I was thinking you meant Darby the Gambler.
I wish we
And
had
that-
a Darby the Gambler chapter.
Yeah, but yeah, the servant animal shit with Mash was super good. Like, Mash is such a cool guy.
He
I
really
love
is.
him.
He was just like, I was gonna fight you, but now I realize you basically said that you don't really want to fight me, and you just have to, and I don't want to hurt you, because that seems unfair.
Yeah.
And he gives him a
Like-
little snoot pet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good boy. Mash is a good boy.
Yeah, and I like that the animal also recognizes it's a good boy. And then we finally get Harry Potter properly like entering the story, and I like what they're doing with him. What is it with new gen shonen manga being obsessed with the idea of what if the world had like an unambiguously strongest character? How would they cope with it?
I don't
'Cause you
know,
have
but
it in
I'm
my-
here for it.
Yeah, because you have that in My Hero, you have that in Jujutsu Kaisen, you have it here as well. And it's like another take on it, where it's like, I'm all the world needs. I don't want any like special cases anymore. Everyone else just gets to be normal people, and I don't want like a fucking upstart like you upsetting this delicate order that I've built that works for most people.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck the system up for everybody else if I just leave you around. Everything's fine. I've got it under control. Yeah. And I like
Yeah,
that too, because he's not like explicitly evil, or even like, because a lot of time they came off as like he just was like racist, and he was just like, you don't have magic, you fucking loser. But like expanding on it here is that it's not even really that, as much as it's just like he thinks he's protecting the greater good, and letting an aberration come in could fuck everything up for everyone.
Yeah. So that is definitely very, very cool. I feel like it's one of those like trends that we'll have to look at, if we still care in like 5-10 years time. Because it feels weirdly consistent within this sort of era of shonen.
Yeah, it does,
Um,
doesn't it? It really does.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. But for now, I'm definitely very, very excited to see how Mash is gonna fight against this guy, because he seems overpowered as hell.
Yeah, I don't know how. After a while, he's gotta just like not be able to win at some point, right? So we'll see what happens. This guy would be a cool ally, though. That's for sure.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if he ever will be. He feels like even if he goes down or somewhat or gets like hurt during this fight, he's probably just gonna be he's gonna be like a reoccurring foil or something.
Yeah, well, he's also one of those characters that like he's too strong, and if he was an ally, he would trivialize a lot of the problems.
Yeah. So that's kind of, that's what it is. What can we do? But yeah, like I think that's all I have on Mashle this week.
Yeah, I mean it's Mashle.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fucking good and it's raw, and that's it. Every time. Mash is a good
Every
boy.
single time.
He petted the puppy, made him feel better.
You can pet the dog in Mashle.
In Mashle, you can pet the dog.
Yeah. Uh, so anyway, Rawness and Swag out of 10. Is that what
Rawness
I'm
and Swag
feeling?
out of 10,
Every
as
week,
is
baby.
tradition.
What's next?
Next up is the Elusive Samurai.
Which had, more of a, I want to say regular chapter for it. Like I wasn't digging it too much this week, I've gotta say.
I have mixed feelings on it. Because some parts of it were really cool. Like, I love the prospect that these guys are actually pretty badass. Like, with the guy, the crazy guy who was doing all the screaming. He's, like, so good that he doesn't have any blood on his face, even though he's been killing dudes left and right. And
Mm-hmm.
the archer who's, like, pinpoint shooting arrows into people's mouths and shit. Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like the joke that the friend can't, like, he doesn't know anyone's name, so he just calls them by their physical characteristics and offends them. Because
Uh-huh.
they don't like the what he calls them. And then I like when they take the joke full circle, and two of them get injured, and he tries to dramatically scream their names, but all he has is their characteristics. So
Yeah.
he's like screaming out guy who's bald except for a little bit of fuzz that he shaves on the back of his head. But it's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be like the anime "No, my friends" scream. I like that. The rest of
Mm-hmm.
it was so-so. Action in group shots in this tends to be pretty hard to follow,
Yeah.
in my experience anyway, or I guess in my opinion. Um, when I like that they do group combat because I think it's pretty rare for a shonen series to almost do group battle more than just like one-on-one fights. Although
Mm-hmm.
I guess the one-on-one fight was probably the thing I liked the most, so maybe that's a hypocritical praise for it. But I think it's neat and it's unique and it's interesting, and there's a lot of like battlefield tactics and stuff that I think are cool that go into it. But when he tries to draw big group fights all at once, it is hectic.
Yeah.
It is chaotic, and I don't know if that's by design because it's supposed to be like battle is hell. But God, it's really hard to look at.
Yeah, that's kind of my main complaint with this chapter. Like I couldn't follow a lot of the stuff that I was looking at. And so I'm
Like
kind of sitting here wondering, yeah, like
page 18, there's the big thing where like they're all attacking the enemy soldiers at one time, and like I can't even tell who's getting killed or like what's happening. I know that they win because they're all still alive in the next panels, but like what the fuck is going on?
yeah, it's hard because it's also like you have a lot of speed lines, a lot of you also have a lot of detail on the armors because obviously those are as we learned recently CGI made
Right.
to allow for such detail. And I feel like here it kind of bites you in the ass because there's just a lot of visual noise.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
that's
way to put it. There's a lot of white noise in some of these shots, and it makes it really hard to keep up with. Like, I think someone's getting decapitated at the bottom of it, but I can't
Mhm.
tell because his head's not off, and there's just a shit zillion bloody speed lines. And I
Yeah.
think he's getting his head cut off, but I'm not sure. And it's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Also, not a fan of Penis Head Man.
The current villain.
No, not the current villain. The Pesci looking guy.
Oh, the guy who it looks like a sausage.
Yeah, I'm not. He makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean Pesci also makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, but Pesci died in like 4 chapters in the manga.
Yeah, and he had a really cool death scene.
Yeah, this guy just kind of looks. Yeah, like just a sentient fucking meat rod, and it's the worst. Like, why does he have huge lips and huge canine teeth?
Oh my god, he does
What?
have big canines. I didn't even realize he had giant canines. Oh my god. It's the worst.
When you
Uh,
bite the dick, and the dick bites back, I guess.
oh my god, why does he have giant canines? He looks like a vampire.
Oh, the worst kind of vampire.
Oh
This is
god.
not what Twilight told me vampires look like.
I've been misled.
I thought they were all pretty and also boys.
Oh god, this is the worst.
Uh, yeah. But hey, it seems like we're getting like a big fight next week, so that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that we can get another good. If the last like enemy general battle is any indication, it should be pretty sick. So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, so what does Elusive Samurai get from us? What's the vibe?
Uh, Dick with canine teeth out of 10.
The snack that bites back out of 10.
Oh God. Okay, moving on. We're into the top three
Moving.
territory now. It's
Yeah, moving on.
it's time for Red Hood.
All right. Oh, Hori's assistants, just like him, have a type. I'm sorry.
Yes.
The fucking exam is being chased around by a huge muscled woman, being overpowered by her, getting handcuffed.
Uh-huh.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. And then it's not even enough that it's like the one huge muscled woman, but the other,
both.
it's both. Yeah, the other one was like, I will also assist.
I like how the muscle woman's superpower is that she's really hot, because I definitely
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah, it's a little blatant.
Okay, but as a power, that's pretty cool. I will say that.
It's
I
a
was
cool
cursed.
power. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
man.
I'm not gonna be mad because they seem like powerful, strong queens. I will support them. But also, aside from the mommy milkers, I really like the conversation to start a chapter. The little thing where they keep calling it like a story and the page space and all that. Like it's funky in a way that I'm actually kind of like endeared by. I want to know what this is about. If that's actually like a plot relevant thing.
Yeah, I almost couldn't tell if that was an in-universe or a metaphorical discussion.
No, actually, I'm almost thinking it's like part of their plan. It has something to do with it has something to do with their plot. I feel like, because also don't forget this is based on the Brothers Grimm, whose works were storybooks specifically. So like I could imagine that there's some grander, like eldritch plan at play that sees existence as like a story. That'd be sick as fuck. So I'm definitely into this. Um, and again, super digging the monsters and like the world, the fucking what is it, the Princess Mantis or whatever it's called, like this giant thing that attacks them.
Oh,
Just massive,
the manta ray thing?
yeah, just massive Toriko or Monster Hunter vibes from it.
A tidal
Both
manta
of which I
ray.
like.
A living
Yeah.
tidal wave. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then she flies out in her Iron Man armor and punches it in the face.
Which also very cool.
Yes.
Like, I like that the wind up to her punch is just chicken scratches to show how hot it is. And then the double spread also very nice. She like makes a punch beam of heat.
Yeah, of just like raw heat energy.
Yeah, and I like how, this little incident is just there to show them, hey, so this is who you're fighting. Have fun. And that's cool. It feels very like quintessential shonen. But
Yeah,
in a
I
good
like
way.
the last panel is all of them saying, please no.
Yeah, please don't fight us.
Don't fight us, please.
Yeah. I gotta say, I really like the concept of this introduction exam where it's like you just stay on this ferry training until you're ready to disembark. Like, yeah, hell yeah, that's cool. Like, it's not particularly whatever, like, ooh, deep or whatever, but it's cool. It's a cool concept.
It is.
That's
yeah.
a very nice concept. So, yeah, I am very much into this. I think this these last like 3 or so chapters have been a massive turnaround for Red Hood for me. Like,
Yeah,
really is
Red
just
Hood, I feel like it started really strong, then it just fell into some garbage, like, real quick. And it made me a little worried, but it's bounced back for sure.
Yeah, just those 2 chapters where they fought the Wolf Brothers were kind of pointless.
And it's kind of funny, because that's what they complain about in the beginning of this.
That's also true. It's kind of meta.
Yeah, where
This
they're like,
author
why
must
did you
watch
even
us.
talk about this? Yeah, he obviously watches the show. Because they were like,
Like
why
all
did you
authors.
write those characters in? You edited the script and added them in. And we had to
Yeah.
fix it. And I'm like, you know, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's common knowledge that all Shonen Jump authors watch Shonen and Chill. That's just how it is. Like, Horikoshi baby, please have dinner ready by the time I get home. By the time I'm done with this. But yeah. But yeah, other than that, Red Hood just really good. I hope it keeps it up. I am in love with this universe and lore. Please, please keep being good out of 10.
Yeah, just don't slip back into the drudgery out of 10, please.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. And the
Next
next should
up
be.
is Undead Unluck.
All right, before we get into praising it, because I feel like we're both gonna. What did he do to his eyes?
I assume
I
he
didn't
just
get that.
punched them repeatedly.
Okay, because when I first saw the panel, I was like, oh shit, he ripped his eyes
Yeah,
out.
I thought the same thing. I was 100% sure that he ripped his eyes out. And
But
I
he
was
just
like,
has them
holy
again.
fuck. I think he just punched him over and over again in the eyes. Because he doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, his eyes just look bloodshot and red, but they're not like cut or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
But
in the last couple panels, or I guess after it happens, he's got like big bruising around them. So yeah,
mhm.
I think he just struck him in the eyes over and over again.
Okay. Well, also, I think it's very funny that we predicted his power accurately. His ability, last episode, his ability is just that his bullets don't decrease.
Yeah, he just has infinite ammo.
Just infinite ammo cheat. But yeah, this was a good chapter. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was great. Holy shit, the rawness at the end
Hmm.
when he opens his bloody eyes. God Almighty.
Yeah,
I
just.
really like every single time they show like the power name when a character
Mhm.
does something cool. It really staples in like the absolute rawness of the moment. And now he's gonna hold him still until Unstoppable builds up to the speed of light.
Hmm. And it's just, uh, there's something so keynote about everything that Undead Unluck has been doing lately. Like there's this sort of swag about it.
There absolutely
Um,
is. Like it just feels like it knows what it's trying to do, and it's very deliberate in it.
yeah, it really knows how to tickle you.
Yeah, it's like,
Um,
oh man, it's all so good.
yeah, like it's so much fun to watch it. Like I really need the eventual anime adaptation to actually really nail these sort of
Yes,
power
that's
name
almost what
drops.
I'm worried about. Is that the anime won't be able to hit these moments with the same like gravitas. You know what I mean? Like there's something
Yeah.
about every single time one of these moments happens where I'm like, God damn. And I'm really worried the anime won't hit the same cues. But, you know, we'll see. That's a long way away to be worried about.
Yeah, for sure. Like for what it's worth right now, there's something so cool about it. Like every single time, it also uses like the same panel structure, like that sort of double spread with the central panel being diagonally cut off. It's almost always the same one, and it gets me hype every single time.
Every time.
Yeah,
It's so fucking sick.
yeah, and I don't know, like this team combo isn't one that you would immediately associate with Rawness and Swag, but both of them just step the fuck up
Yeah,
in
they
this
were
fight
almost like
against.
silly comic relief characters up until now.
Yeah, and now they're here fighting their version of you know like Rikum while they're like fucking Yamcha to
Basically, and it's fucking they're doing it. It's dope as hell. I really hope they
yeah,
win.
yeah, because I mean, to be fair, I like Undecrease. He seems sort of that sort of no nonsense military guy that every series gets at some point.
Yeah, he's very like anime, no nonsense dickbag kind of villain, you know?
Yeah,
Um, but
but
I,
you
I
need it
like that.
sometimes.
Like, I feel like you have to have a character like that because he's the kind of guy. Because they sell him as like he's probably the most dangerous, direct, dangerous enemy because he can even overwhelm me. And we need the two doofy ass kids to go fight him. Like, that's such a cool setup.
Yeah, just a lot of good shit. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping for them to do something cool next week with this fight.
If
Because
they don't have a satisfying payoff after Unmove opened his fucking bleeding eyes. So
Mhm.
I assume Unstoppable is gonna like run around the planet. Like, what's the plan? I don't know, but it sounds hype as fuck.
He's gonna ram into Undecrease at light speed, and then that's gonna like take them back in time where he isn't the problem anymore.
Oh my god,
That's
gonna
that's
de-age
my
him.
yeah. Races up to the speed of light. Oh my god, it's so good. This has such a comic book feel to it as well, in a sense, you know. Quick, I will stop him with my power while you reach light speed real quick.
And he's like, okay. And then like they didn't talk about this in the fight. So did they plan this ahead of time?
Yeah, I guess that was just their plan all along,
And also,
in a sense.
uh, uh, Unmoved not having like his goggles and also having horribly injured eyes, keeping his eyes open the whole time is so fucking raw. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Don't blink, King. You can do
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
We're just there like fucking screaming for this kid to not blink.
Don't
Like this is
fucking blink.
modern shonen.
Yeah, and it's the hypest stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, don't blink King out of 10 for me for Undead Unluck.
I'm right there with you. Do not blink,
Uh,
King.
what's next?
Next up is gonna be My Hero Academia.
Oh, dude. This chapter was a creamer. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and entertain the My Hero critical masses. Like I love this chapter so much. It's so good.
It is good. It it aired a little too far on the side of cornball for me in
Mhm.
places. I thought a lot of her speech was really good. I really liked the um, Uraraka's not fighting for them; she's fighting for us thing. Like that was cool.
Mhm.
I loved the no matter how strong he is or what you think about the situation, he's still just a kid,
Mhm.
and you're just leaving him out here to fight and die by himself, like you're abandoning a child. I loved all of that. The fact that there's a fucking spread of her screaming, "It's his Hero Academia TM trademark Boku no my place of academia." I'm like, this is stupid as fuck. That did not do it for me. That was a huge turnoff. But the rest of it was really good. I even liked the line that
Nah.
everyone hates, which is the this is actually the story about how we all became the greatest hero. I saw a lot of bitching about that. Um, I like it. I like the concept a lot because I think the problem with hero society in general was having a greatest hero, and so them all stepping up to not just be heroes but like alter the shitty portions of the last system into a system that works for everyone as a group is a lot better than just like I am All Might too with more powers. Despite all the complaining I've seen about it, but the
Yeah, I'm
her screaming My Hero Academia into the sky did not do it for me, bro. That was the only turnoff.
nah, bro, I love that shit. Like it is cheesy as hell, but to me it feels like you've earned it at this point, right? Like this is where he belongs. This is the place he needs to be at. And after such a long period of him climbing to this place and then losing it after the war, I'm okay with it. Like it's earned it. It's fine. Like obviously I get why it's definitely on the cheesy side, but for me it definitely hit. And just in general, the vibes were once again immaculate. The entire speech that Baraka delivers is everything we and Deku just needed to hear. This, it starts as something small like he's just a kid, which is one thing that not just the characters in the series itself, but also fans keep forgetting. It's like these are fucking children. These are like 17, 16-year-olds. Like, and they are burning these heavy burdens. It's a very important thing to bring up that I like that it's actually finally entered the story as like an actual consideration. And I like that Uraraka finally gets something to do, and that she does it this well. That, you know, she ends up in this as this sort of spokesperson for heroes as human beings. That again kind of deconstructs the idea of All Might as this godlike figure that no one really ever had to worry about.
Right, because he
Like,
had just come in and saved the day, and it was all fine.
yeah, exactly. Like the relationship between hero and civilian was very unilateral. It was the hero saves the civilian is grateful. But now Uraraka is sort of negotiating that idea of, well, no, we're just people. We may be heroes, but we're just trying to keep it together, and you guys need to understand that. Right now, what we need is not this sort of hierarchy, but solidarity. And it starts with letting this kid, this dirty, fucking, stinking piece of shit kid, to re-enter his fucking Hero Academia. Like, ah, it's so good. I love it so much. And as you said, the final narration bit, where it's like, this is the story of how we all became the greatest heroes. I don't care who doesn't like that. Like, that's the only way that could have gone, because at the start of the series, Deku says, "Oh, this is the story of how I became the greatest hero." But the longer the series went on, it kind of started becoming a bit weird that that was the premise. When, like, you know, as you said, the entire point of the story is that having a greatest hero is the problem. So bringing it back together and like tying it into this sort of generational shift finally really feels like a step that just needed to be done. So I am very, very happy with this chapter from top to bottom. The only thing that I'm not happy about, the only thing I'm not liking, is that, dear God, we are running towards an ending, aren't we?
Yes.
Because re-invoking your chapter 1 narration is a very strong statement of intent, to me at least. I'm gonna straight up say it. If My Hero ends before reaching chapter 400, that's annoying. That's annoying and disappointing. Because I just don't think this series is ready to end yet. I think it has quite a lot of steam left in it for potential storylines and things that could explore. Um, so I really, really hope that this preparation for what is probably the final war is going to take some time. I don't want this to end. It doesn't feel ready to end yet. But we'll have to see.
It definitely does feel early. I think even if you start the final battle like within the next 2 months, it probably will still last past 400. Because there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
But one other thing I didn't like about it was just about the ending, the very last panel. I feel like having Coda and just this random girl be the ones. What a mismatch for me! Like having Coda run out is so cool to me because that's like you know Deku basically inspired this kid and changed his entire worldview, right? Like the kid's been obsessed with him. And so having him be one of the first people, especially because, you see it a lot in superhero stuff where it's like all the adults are standing back, but the kid is the one that runs out first, It's a big trope, and even in like Marvel movies, like the kid in Iron Man where he walks out with the mask and then the real Iron Man shows up and saves him and stuff. Like, but then why is this just this fucking snooted up woman doing here? You were in 3 panels before this. You do not get to be part of this emotional payoff.
I don't know. I didn't mind it because I feel like it gives us this sort of gradient of Deku's influence, right? You have someone like Koda, who he had a very profound influence on, and you have a Fox Lady, whom he just saved one time and ran along. Like, I don't know. I definitely get where you're coming from. I think this panel would have worked with any number of other characters in her stead, but it definitely didn't like detract to it from me. So it's kind of whatever. I'm chilling. Um, but also one thing that I didn't mention last week that I want to mention this time: these last 2 chapters have had so many like characters return and nods to other characters, like in the crowd or in flashbacks. Like, in the crowd, you can find pretty much every single character that has ever appeared as like a random guy in a panel before. Like there's the 2 random fuckboys that once were interviewed about Endeavor and said he kind of sucks. They're in the crowd. in this chapter, the guy from the very first pilot chapter that encouraged Deku to be a hero right at the start, he makes a reappearance as well. You can find the parents of most of the UA children in the background. Uh, the hero in Uraraka's flashback, she says she loved seeing people's reactions to him saving people. Uh, we've seen him before because he got killed by twice
Yeah, he
in the
got
war.
stabbed in the fucking spine.
Yeah, like it's cool. It really makes it. On one hand, I don't like it because it makes it feel more like, oh God, we're ending. But at the same time, it gives this series like this sort of breath, where it's like, oh my God, there's so many people here that if I just look at them a little, I do recognize. And it's like not a big thing, but it's cool. It makes it feel like a very alive and lived-in world.
Yeah, it's always
So
nice when extras come back because you get that real feeling of like everybody in this world. It's like a living thing. It's like a real place.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, I definitely think that's one of the biggest strengths My Hero has right now in this sort of section, where you just have all these things coming together, all of these characters interacting, intersecting, and being part of the scene. Again, it annoys me because it really makes it feel like this is the ending. But that aside, really cool. Um, what do you think? How's the rest gonna play out? Because it seems like the villain hunt arc is over for now.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's too early. I guess I keep saying this, but I feel like it's too early for the series to even be considering ending. So maybe my word on too early doesn't matter much here. But I feel like it's too early to flip into like now we attack the school mode. I feel like we need almost like something a little bit more. You're gonna give me so much shit for this. I feel like we might
Because I
need
know what's
something a
coming.
little bit more laid back, but
Is
not.
that so, Mrs. Zenrotto?
Listen, I don't want gym class, but I wouldn't mind an arc of the students just kind of taking stock of how different the world is now,
Mhm.
and just kind of spending some time together, re-examining like their thoughts and their dreams and like what they can do for this new world versus how they felt coming into school and what they thought they were going to do for the old world. Um, I don't want next week to be Class B shows up and they're like, "Hey, Deku's back. Fuck you, buddy. We're better than you. Let's arm wrestle or whatever the fuck." But I would like to see just like some more, maybe not like intimate, but just like a little bit of tenderness from everybody of just like we acknowledge that this is not really what we signed up for. Because you had a lot of the adult heroes come to grips with that, right? Like we saw them
Mhm.
quit, like even some of them retired and stuff over it. And it feels like the kids have been kind of the wide-eyed idealists through all of it, which is fine. I'm not saying they need to like quit or leave, but it would be nice to see people other than Deku have a serious grappling with the difference in everything, I guess, you know? Like I wouldn't mind an arc of just them like in their dorm, like hanging out, and each of them just kind of talk about what it means to them now after seeing everything to be a hero versus what it meant before. Because we've gotten like little shades of it, you know, like we talked about with Mira, but was her name Mira? Mina. With
Mina. Yeah.
Mina, where she's like, I'm here because I saw Midnight die, and I don't ever want to see anyone die again, and like
Mhm.
I'm here for that. But I'd like to see it for at least for everybody that matters. I don't need to see it from Belly Button French King, but whatever. From some people, you know.
You're right. I too want to see the romance arc finally.
I would be okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be real. I had kind of given up on like a tenderness arc, but you are kind of completely on point. I think we need at least not even an arc, maybe just a section where we get to examine how these kids are actually feeling, because that has definitely been on the back burner for a while, and we've now seen how Deku feels about everything. So now I would want to see the rest. And for the love of God, at this point, Deku needs to fucking just realize that hey, maybe Maybe my somewhat crush on Uraraka is actually reciprocated. Isn't that crazy? Like, bro, she's screaming from the fucking rooftops about how great you are.
Yeah,
Like, go get it.
just kiss her, bro. For the love of God. Enough,
Yeah,
enough.
like,
Just kiss.
yeah, I want that romance arc, man. Like, these are kids. War is happening. They don't know if they're gonna survive. We all know. We all know where this would lead. So just fucking go through with it. Especially since
Maybe not that exact choice of words, but just kiss.
oh my god, dude. First first he's a hypocrite and then he twists the words in my mouth. What else will this villain stoop to? Tune in next week for Shonen N Chill. See you next time on Dragon Ball Z. But no, I definitely get what you mean. I think a sort of more laid back arc would be really cool now. And then maybe after that we could switch to again a villain arc where we get to see how like the League of Villains is doing because we kind of haven't seen anything of them since the war ended, and I kind of want to know what the internal situation is. I also am kind of hoping slash expecting that we're gonna get an arc of Shigaraki rebelling against All for One and taking back control without the heroes knowing, so that when the actual final fight happens, which at this point I am 99% sure is at UA, they're preparing for All for One to show up, but instead it's a fully matured Shigaraki with his goons. I feel like that would be very cool.
I would like that.
If
I am still very much in the camp of I really need All for One to just kind of piss off.
yeah, you need to take a holiday forever.
Yeah, take a holiday straight into just hell and
Yeah.
stop coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, just a one-way plane ticket to outside of this fucking manga, please. Like, I don't care if you have to throw him into another manga. Like, if he randomly starts showing up in Witch Watch, I won't be mad.
Just keep him out of my Jujutsu Kaisen, please.
Dude, if he shows up in Jujutsu Kaisen, he gets folded like immediately.
That's true.
Like because he's so concerned about, oh, I have so many powers, and then someone shows up and has like a more complicated power, and he's like, oh, what is this? I have to understand how your powers work. Ew, and then he just fucking dies.
Yeah, he's
That's
just like
canon.
I'm gonna take your power, and then he just gets fucking folded with a black flash immediately.
Yeah, like you can take that as canon, by the way. Horikoshi told me, and Gege Akutami told me.
Yeah, they talked about it
Whichever
when
you
they went
trust
to the
more.
movies together.
I still can't fucking believe that they went to watch the Evangelion movie together, and then not only were they both sad for the next week, but also sick.
They got sick. Yeah.
That's the funniest shit to me. What a pair of kings.
Absolute fucking chads.
But yeah, My Hero gets a very good out of 10. Please don't end anytime soon.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell, like, because every now and again, it seems like it's going full sprint, like I'm ready to jump into the ending, but then afterwards, it'll do something where I'm like, oh, they're gonna slow down now, and they just keep bouncing back and forth between like either they're gonna slow down or it's gonna end really soon, and I hope that we get at least like. But we probably won't get 200 more, but I'd love to get like 150 more chapters out of this.
Yeah, like I think my ideal. I've always said that My Hero seems like the kind of series that would end at chapter 600. And I'm gonna take that back to between 450 and 500. I feel like
Yeah, I think
that's
450 is also
realistically.
a good point for me where I think I would be content. Like you can fit in everything you need to fit in by that point, I think. Breaking
Yeah,
500, I don't see happening with how hard they're in full tilt toward the ending now. Um,
yeah. Although here's a question: do you want the final arc to be like one giant war arc, everyone versus everyone, or do you want it to be like something else?
I'm kind of tired of final arcs being giant wars, but that's also because that really ruined Naruto for me. Um,
Hmm.
I kind of would like almost like maybe like you can have everyone fighting at one time, but I don't want it to be a giant battlefield like the last one was. I would love it if
Yeah,
it was something like there was a
multiple.
coordinated attack on various parts of the city. and they all have to split
Yes.
up and deal with each of their own things on their own. And
Hmm.
Deku has to go fight Shigaraki alone, or maybe with Bakugo or whatever, like one helper, or like him and Uraraka, whatever, like Ichigo style, would be fine. But I don't want another battlefield. I want each of our like main focus heroes to get a fight where they can show how good they are, show their resolve, all that kind of stuff, without it having to be like. And now we cut back to Deku's right over there punching Shigaraki through the mountain while I'm trying to talk to Toga in this little house, so I can only talk to her for 2 seconds because the entire city is falling apart around me. Like, I want everyone to get their own moments, and I don't want it to be a giant shared thing.
Yeah, me too. But I kind of feel like own moments, as in like solitary fights, are going to be very hard because especially now that the series has very much committed to the idea of everybody is the greatest hero together. I kind of feel we're going to get more team up fights.
I'm not
Which
opposed to team up fights. I just don't want a battlefield.
Yeah, no, I get that. Um, Although even if we get like separate fights, we probably would still have like regular cutaways because Hori doesn't like finishing one plot thread before changing to the other. Like, I mean, maybe he's learned, but the summer exam arc in the manga still sticks in my mind as maybe one of the worst things I've read in my life. Like, did you ever read that in the manga?
I mean, I've read the entire thing, but I don't remember a lot of the
The one where
ickier portions.
Hori decided to have 10 fights happen all at the same time and keep switching between them after like 3 pages.
Uh, mm.
The one where Deku and Bakugo fight All Might.
Yes. Oh, that one. Yes, that shit sucked.
Yeah.
That shit. It's not as bad as joint training, but it's probably the second worst one.
I don't know. It puts it below joint training for me because at the very least in joint training, you're focused on what the fuck's happening. Sure, what's happening may be boring at times, but at the very least you're not jumping between 10 boring locations that you can't get attached to because you're just jumping so much. So yeah, no, I'm definitely curious to see how the final arc will handle that part because I definitely what I want, and if Hori doesn't give it to me, I'm gonna be legitimately upset. I want Dobby versus Endeavor, like the final fight, or maybe Shoto, to happen in the old Todoroki house. And it ends with whatever happens, it ends with the house burning down. Like that's what I want. If Hori doesn't give it to me, I'm suing him.
This is so cornball, like big time. But how cool would it be? At least to me. You're welcome to hate this. If
Uh-huh.
if the old house burns down, but there's like a tiny little like family photo that gets saved because Todoroki covers it in ice.
Yeah, you have nothing to say about the fucking My Hero Academia title drop.
So cornball, and I would be there for it, 100%.
Oh, I'd be there for
I
it
would
too,
be like, fuck
absolutely.
yeah, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, I need the Todoroki household to be a location of battle. It just feels like such a strained
I
and
feel like it's been set
important
up to
place.
be the case because why else would you be like, I'm moving you out of the house and then never touch on it again?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I feel like Endeavor, because Endeavor lives there alone, right?
Yeah, now he lives there,
I
or I don't know if he
something's
yet
gonna
lives there
happen. He's
alone.
gonna get jumped by Dabi at the house. He's gonna lose, and
Yeah,
Shoto's gonna show up, and they're gonna fight.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's one thing I definitely want. You know what idea I've seen floating around as to where Deku versus Shigaraki could happen? The beach where Deku did his training for One for All.
Oh, with the beach that he cleaned,
Yeah,
that would be cool. I don't want it to be
yeah.
Camino. No more Camino. I need a break from
No,
that place.
Camino's boring.
Yeah.
Like, my big problem with Horikoshi's fighting environments is they rarely matter. Like a lot of the time, they fight the same as if they were fighting somewhere else. Like the war is my biggest problem. I think we've mentioned a couple of times while the war was happening. The war just kind of felt like a big open field. So I feel like a beach will kind of play into that again, which I'm not a big fan of.
But at least
Then
it would be
again,
a topical location.
yeah, because also at this point, like with Shigaraki, it's not like you can really have fights and close quarters anymore, cramped spaces that make for interesting choreography because, well, he just decays the interesting choreography opportunities alongside with the entire fucking building. So.
Although a beach would make sense because I feel like wouldn't decay not really work through the water?
Not through the water, not through the sand. We know decay doesn't work on sand. That is. Oh my god, yeah, it's happening at the beach, isn't it? Because the manga went out of its way to tell us that decay does not work on sand.
So yeah, he might have to be somewhere because I mean, right now he's basically a nuclear bomb. You can't just fight him on the ground. So
Yeah.
maybe he tries to start the fight and Deku is like, "What the fuck do I do?" And then he steers the fight there. I don't know.
Yeah, because when he fights Snatch, the sand hero, he's like, oh, my quirk doesn't activate on sand because sand isn't one thing. It's a collection of multiple things. And if I want to decay a grain of sand, I would have to hold it with all fingers, which obviously doesn't work. So, yeah, no, I guess it's happening at the sand. Like, okay, we've solved it. Spoilers, everybody.
And we've spoiled the ending. Just cancel it.
Yeah, just cancel it. Where do you think? Okay, here comes a fun question. Where do you think Kirishima's final fight is happening?
I keep kind of forgetting he exists these days.
Well, he is pretty important still.
Yeah, he got a lot of background focus now though. I don't even know who he would fight.
Giganto.
Oh, you think he's gonna fight the big boy?
Yes, because of two reasons. One, because his main character trauma links to him because Giganto was the guy that scared him and Mina, and he couldn't do anything about it when they were in middle school. And two, I am so certain that Giganto has Crimson Riot's quirk mixed in, as in Kirishima's
His idol. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like because there's only two possible human beings that Giganto could be. He's either the All for One's bodyguard that we see in the flashback, or it's Crimson Riot. And
so,
even if it is,
do you think him and Mina are gonna fight him together?
I think so because I feel like that was set up in the war arc, right, where they both kind of fight him, but both struggle a lot. So I feel like the conclusion to that is going to be a final duet with them against Giganto.
I feel like
that's what I'm seeing.
I feel like Mina would be very useful. I feel like Kirishima would not in that situation.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, Giganto actually doesn't have that many crazy quirks. He's just really strong.
Well, he's just fucking huge. What's little solid boy gonna do about that?
He's gonna out-harden him, of course.
It's gonna be solid as fuck.
Especially if Mina's around, I mean, huh?
Hey, that's true. My man has tastes. He has preferences.
Yeah. But yeah, no, actually, My Hero Academia Volume 29 released in English this week. Or pre-released. I think it's probably releasing next week. And we finally have Gigantomachia's list of quirks in English. I can quickly fetch it if you're interested, or I can just tell you from memory.
You can just tell me from memory. I believe you. If there's anyone whose memory I believe, it's yours.
Oh, that's very sweet, bro. If I remember correctly, he has gigantification, which is that as he grows angrier, he gets stronger and bigger. And that's kind of his big... Oh, I found the list anyway. So he has endurance. His original quirks, which makes him a stamina beast. He has pain blocker, so he can't feel pain. He has gigantification, grows gigantic when agitated or excited. His fourth quirk is just called dog. So he has a heightened sense of smell and hearing. He has energy saver, which means he doesn't really need to eat or sleep. His muscles are remarkably hard and tough through a power that's called Fierce Gains. And his final quirk, 7, Mole, is that he can transform into a mole and dig.
All right.
Which we've seen once, I believe.
When he transform into a mole.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would be real. I have no fucking clue how a fight would even work against this guy, like a traditional shonen fight. Unless, I guess, you can disable his gigantification. because then it's kind of just a brawl.
Just melt the boy.
Yeah.
Melt him with acid girl powers.
Yeah. Who else? What do you think? Who do you think Bakugo would fight if he doesn't end up fighting Shigaraki alongside Deku?
I
Or
would
do you think?
assume that it's going to be him and Deku fighting Shigaraki together.
You think?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, I don't know, because there's not really like a right hand man for him to have. He doesn't really have any like, because like you could have Ida fight Spinner or something if you really wanted to, if you really wanted to stretch the Stain thing as hard as you could.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not really anyone that Bakugo has any sort of like beef with.
Yeah, that's true. Whereas, Uraraka, for example, is almost definitely fighting Toga.
150 million%, yes.
Yeah.
Either that,
Like-
or at some point they will like recombine, or not recombine. What word am I using? That's not even close to the right word. They'll meet each other and start to fight, and Toga will swap sides and help her, because someone else will show
Okay.
up. Because I don't think
Okay.
Toga ends this series as a villain. She might go to prison,
Mhm.
but I think she ends the series with some level of emotional reconciliation with Uraraka and Deku.
How fucking funny would it be if the final panel of My Hero, like after the final fight, the fucking the dog police officer shows up and arrests everyone for unlawful quirk use. He's like, "Oh, you weren't allowed to fight Shigaraki. Like, to jail with you."
Your license is expired 3 weeks ago.
That's the ending. Everyone goes to jail.
It's just Seinfeld's ending.
Spoilers, I guess. How fucking old is Seinfeld? It's not really a
Very
new show.
old.
Yeah, so
Seinfeld came out in 1989.
bet. Now
Right
I know
around
what
the
I'm
same
putting
time
on the
that
thumbnail.
the author of Neru stopped enjoying new fiction.
Okay, bet. So yeah, My Hero gets a fucking great out of 10 from me.
Yeah, fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, keep going, Hori. This man really has like had a crazy streak, pretty much ever since the joint training arc ended, with the exception being Mirio. Fuck that guy.
Oh my god, dude, someone's been in the comments. I forgot about this until you mentioned that. Someone's been in the comments for the past week straight bitching that we called that bad. And every single time he's like, so you can say you don't like it, but you can't say it's objectively bad. And I'm like trying to explain to him that that's just what opinions are. And like, I'm not going to preface every single thing that I say with, in my opinion, because it should be understood. But
well,
I'm also Go ahead.
I don't have to, because what I say is objectively correct. So like, Mirio coming back is objectively bad. Like, suck my ass. I don't fucking care. Like,
now I have to read the comments on that. You bastard.
No.
You keep setting me up to get shot by proxy.
That's what you get for complaining about My Hero possibly doing a school-centric arc for weeks on this podcast, only to then crawl in here and demand a school-centric arc. Like, this is what you fucking get.
No, not a school-centric arc, just a subdued arc.
Apples and tomatoes.
It's not. It's different. I'm not.
Well,
I don't want gym class. I just want them to like sit around and talk.
Isn't that a fucking mood? I don't want gym class.
No,
Yeah.
no gym.
No, gym's cancelled. Fuck you, James. Non-distinct person in the comments named James writing their fucking angry tweet.
Writing their
angry
furious
reply.
fucking reply right now.
Yeah. Nah, that mirror shit was bad. It's my opinion, but it's also, I think my opinion is correct. So like, if you have any complaints, please direct them at Zen.
All right, I'm changing the subject because someone just tweeted this at me mid-recording, and it's the perfect time to talk about it.
What's that?
Look at the chat.
Oh my god, what?
Shonen N Chill reference on Roboco.
No way. That's nah, I don't believe that.
And Roboco's #1 is Jujutsu Kaisen.
And what? And the other ones is My Hero
It's My
Academia.
Hero.
No, I don't believe that.
This has to
That
be photoshopped.
Nah, I'm opening Roboco right now to check. There's no way this is real.
It's obviously
And
not a reference. We're not saying it is, obviously, but oh my
no,
god,
no,
it's so
that's so funny.
like what an amazing coincidence.
Also, because also like, yeah, no, it's in there. It's not fake. Oh my god. Well, okay, they're not holding a podcast, so it's definitely not a reference. But oh my god, can you imagine the Roboco author watching us
Just
and
shit on
watching shit
Roboco
on
every
his-
week.
Oh my god, now I feel bad. What's the author's name? It's Shuhei Miyazaki. Miyazaki-san, if you're listening, we're very sorry, but also thank you. If this is what this is. Oh my god.
It's just so fucking funny that it happens to be the exact same format, and the number 1 and number 2 or the number 1 for both of them is
my God,
always
dude.
ours.
You also do realize that this makes you Roboco, right?
Listen, that just makes me the main character.
Congrats. You're the main character of Roboco. What an honor.
Hey, listen, all right? I don't see you getting the main character privilege. Oh my god, there's another one later on, and it's got
What's-
the Elusive Samurai and Dr. Stone on it.
What?
They do a second top 3 later on. And they have other ones that I like as their number 1s.
Well, okay, they also have Black Clover in it, so clearly that's not good.
Yeah, but the Black Clover one is the one that's you. So, haha.
Hey. Oi. Did you guys know, by the way, that Zen really wishes Deku didn't have a quirk in My Hero Academia?
Don't
like,
fucking lie.
like, please
Don't
let
try
them know in
to
the
blame
comments.
me for fucking Batman Deku.
Like, please let him know in the comments what you think about him thinking that. Like, I'm sure he'll be delighted to read it.
Everybody,
Like,
there's definitely someone that turned this shit off the minute those words got out of your mouth, and did not listen to any of my objections or refusals afterward, and they're writing an angry comment right now.
You see, you may be the main character, but I have the power of friendship, aka the power of audience at my side. Because whatever bullshit I say, you have to carry the
I
consequences.
don't understand why it's always like that.
Like I could tweet some absolutely dumb shit while you're deep asleep, and someone would find a way to shit on you through me. It's
Always!
incredible.
I don't even do anything. Ah.
Oh no, you sound so upset.
It's just always. I'm just trying my best over here. There's always like you just like come in and say something, and inevitably someone's like, "Man, this is why Zen fucking sucks."
Maybe it's because they expect you to babysit me, and you fail at that so
And
hard.
I haven't. I don't know what it is, man, but God.
I mean, realistically, probably what it is that a lot of people who shit on you through me are My Hero fans who remember you shitting on joint training.
That's true.
And they're like, oh my god, what? He likes it now? What a poser. Like, he just likes it for money on this podcast that gets, like...
On his fucking podcast that gets 3K viewers tops.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we love each one of you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's just, we're not in it for the money, clearly.
So I don't even make any money off of this.
That's true.
I'm just here for the vibes.
Just here for the sweet vibes.
I mean, to be fair, I do make money off the live streams, and the first Shonen Chill live almost by itself got me partner. So hey.
Hey, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was the most successful stream I've ever had on my channel.
Look forward to the next one of those. That will be episode 47.
Yeah, in 6 weeks, because this is episode 41, as we clearly remembered through all.
We all
of this.
knew it the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Do we want to move on?
Yeah,
to the
we probably
final?
should, because we're an hour and 45 minutes in and we have not talked about Jujutsu Kaisen yet.
Okay, bet.
So yeah, let's go ahead. We're gonna move on. I'll give my official. The next one is Jujutsu Kaisen. Thank you, timestamp. Okay. So this chapter fucking ruled. What a cool fight.
Dude, do you think Gege reads JoJo?
Are you getting that vibe too?
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to
Like-
get that vibe. Because a lot of people compare all the powers to like Bleach, but this is a very abstract JoJo power. This is not a Bleach
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, this is like very much this is one of those things where like, oh, I like the Southern Star Formation, so now my power does this. It's very like very weird and specific, but also I love it. Like the whole mind games of trying to figure it out, and then the actual reveal where the power is so much more, even more complicated than they had expected, and then Megumi just figures it out anyway.
I
Raw
love the
as
way
fuck.
that Megami figures it out too. Is that like he just baits her or him? Damn it!
Mhm.
I have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
In my defense,
Then.
Kirara is drawn with boobies in some panels. I swear to God. So it's hard
Yeah.
to keep up with.
Well, that exists.
Well, I assume if they're calling Kirara male, they don't mean that Kirara is not a trans female, because then she would still be a girl. He's just a boy that dresses in effeminate clothing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. When I eat out a couple of nights in a row, I definitely get boobies too. So
Yeah,
you
but
know.
Kirara's also hot, like fit as all hell. So
Yeah, you got me there.
no offense.
I have to return
Speaking
to
of,
the fucking.
holy shit, Megami when he pulls his shirt up, god damn.
Yeah, I have to fucking return to the military end of the month. I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, that sucks.
Hey, the service of the country that I didn't sign up for.
Service of the
Well, what
country
can
you
we
didn't
do?
ask to be born into.
Yeah, well, actually, have I ever told that story on here? Why I joined the military?
I thought you had to.
Well, I had to, but the thing is, I only had to because I became Swiss when I was 18, which I didn't have to do. I deliberately took the Swiss
Citizenry thing?
Yeah, the Swiss citizenship thingy. I took that test of my own volition. Have I ever told you why?
No.
Because the way, because obviously I have multiple passports, because my mom's from Turkey and my dad's from Italy, and the way it works if you're from multiple countries with military is that if any one of those countries has a draft, you have to go. Like, there's no way to say, oh, I'm Italian now, which doesn't have an active army. You have to go if any one of your countries has an active draft. And Turkey has one. In Turkey, you have to enlist when you're 18. At the time I became 18 was the year Turkey entered into armed conflict with ISIS. And so I decided, well, how about I just become Swiss and instead I'm forced to join the Swiss army so I don't have to go fight ISIS and die in the desert.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, so I might complain about it, but it did save me from having to go there and shoot people, so
Yeah.
yeah. For the few people that keep, because I see that in every episode, people are like, oh my god, new Ocean's lore dropped. Like, there you go.
The Ocean's autobiography slowly being built out through Shonen N Chill.
They just like make a separate they make like separate channels in the Discord where they're trying to piece together our biography through the little bits that we let slip on the show. That almost feels kind of creepy. Never mind.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit much, but also I'm kind of there for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen fucking
Jujutsu
rules.
Kaisen.
The
Jujutsu
power
Kaisen
is cool as
fucking
hell,
raw.
and the whole
Yeah.
fight was awesome. I love the entire thing. Him using the rabbit escape to see what he can and cannot touch
Mhm.
by sending them out all over the entire thing, and then also the little line of Megami asking Panda, and Panda's like, it was almost as cute as I am. I fucking love Panda.
Yeah, no, he's great. And in general, like I to get back to the bunnies, I really like that also as a concept, right? Because this is based on stars and whatever and like gravitational fields. And so it's cool to send like just a whole bunch of particles, so to speak, into the air to see how the gravity reacts.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very sort of meta in that sense. Very cool.
Just the whole idea was awesome, and then how Megami slowly pieces it together is super cool. Like, I love, and this is a very JoJo-esque thing as well. It's just like the long time of breaking down how you think your opponent's power works. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's definitely something it's something that you can only really do in a series that has a power system like this, right? Where pretty much anything can be a power and it's only limited by what you can think of as like a reader. Um so yeah, no, I'm definitely happy to see how Kira's power ended up working. It's so cool. Like you have to approach it sequentially. Like there's um, this open weak spot in a way because the power technically doesn't stop you from approaching anything. You just have to do it correctly. And so it
Right.
becomes a game of how much do you let the enemy know. Just very cool. Um, I dig that shit so much. I love like built-in weaknesses in powers that the user then has to sort of circumvent.
And
That's
then
my
I
shit right there.
love the way that Megami gets around it by trying his best to keep Demon Dog and himself on opposite ends of Kirara, so that
Mhm.
when the power goes off and yanks the Demon Dog toward him, it can just grab Kirara on the way. It's
Yeah,
so
right.
fucking cool.
Yeah, the final panel too. Like, I forgot how cool Demon Dog Totality looks now that they have
Dope as
fused.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like just a fucking werewolf. So cool. Um, yeah, just cool shit. Like in terms of like actual story, there was very little this week
Oh
around, I
yeah,
feel.
it was pure battle chapter, but what a good fight. The whole
Yeah.
thing was so good.
Yeah, and I don't know, I kind of want Kirara to stick around. They seem very cool.
Yeah, Kirara doesn't seem like actively antagonistic or anything. I assume
Yeah.
next week is gonna kind of be Megami just pleading his case, um,
Hmm.
and trying to convince them to let them talk to Hikari.
Yeah. Yeah, because also like I still can't get over that funny face from last week when they tell her that Gojo's been, or they tell them that Gojo's been sealed.
Yeah,
And it's just like,
and Kirara's like,
yeah,
no,
right.
that's bullshit. And Megami's
Yeah.
response is like, I can't blame him for having that reaction.
It's so fucking funny. So yeah, even that, like that small moment has really endeared me to them.
Or
Just a
actually,
very cool
do you
character.
think next week we'll be pleading the case to Kirara, or do you think next week we'll go back to Hikari versus Itadori?
I feel like it's gonna be both. Like it's gonna be Hakari versus Itadori interspersed with the pleading. I can
Okay,
almost see
yeah.
it like the dialogue sort of overlapping the action on the other side of the door, in a sense.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, because I kind of want to know what Hakari's ability is.
Yeah, there's did you see that Twitter breakdown someone did about it? About how they think it's a
No,
reference to the Japanese gambling train?
no, I've not actually seen that. No.
I didn't read it well enough to fully like to give you the rundown that they made, but basically there's a train in Japan where like all the stops are at various like casinos and gambling parlors and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think that's what the subway doors opening and closing were, is it's the gambling train.
Oh,
And
okay, I
so like
see.
the potential for his power could be whatever quote unquote stop you're on the train has different
Mm-hmm.
effects, which is why his power will have so much
Oh,
variance in it.
true. That's cool.
But we'll have to see. I
So
assume his power is not just doors. So
the most fearsome power of them all, the railway system.
the railway system and trying to get somewhere on time.
Yeah. You guys you guys have a good railway system, right?
No.
No?
I
Not at
mean,
all?
like a subway, maybe. I mean, not where I am. There isn't one at all. In like major cities, that maybe. I've never heard anything good about it.
Okay,
We
damn.
have like decent cross country rail. Like Amtrak is not too bad,
Okay.
but that's about it.
Damn. That sucks.
Yeah, public
The
transportation here is like not a concern.
damn.
Our country is very much like, why didn't you just fucking buy a car? Why didn't you spend money?
Damn. That's a shame. Because like here, public transport is like a huge thing.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter here at all.
Uh,
Nobody gives a shit about public transportation.
Damn, my dreams of living in America have been shattered.
Yeah, I'm sure you were gnashing at the bit to get out of here.
Uh, Dude, I mean, it's the place where everything happens.
That's true.
You know,
It's where shit takes place.
yeah, like too bad it's always kind of bad shit, but hey, at least it's something happening, right?
Yeah, well, it is. It's always
It
bad.
is what it is. Yeah. Um, do we have anything else on Jujutsu though?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was a combat chapter. It's just a fucking expertly done combat chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking absolutely goated. Um, but otherwise, yeah, that's about all I have. It was really good. I'm so
All
fucking
right.
glad it's back out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Gege, I love you. Take care of yourself, but also give me more heat out of 10.
Yes.
Someone in the
Please bring
comments
the
can
heat.
figure out. Someone in the comments can figure out what that abbreviates to with like the first letters. I can't do that.
All right, fair enough.
uh, so is that a week in the bag?
That's a week in the books. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Shonen N Chill. Make sure to keep your eye on the timer. I know it's only been a week, but you've only got 6 weeks left for the art competition, so make sure to turn your stuff in before episode 47 goes live, because we will not be accepting any during the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, fellas. See you around. Bye.